VW Arteon is described by its maker as a 5-door Gran Turismo, which in less fluffy terms means it's essentially a more attractive, and pricier, 5-door coupe alternative to the Passat. But perhaps such plain dealing is uncharitable, for Volkswagen has put a great deal of effort into this car, combining a strikingly distinctive design that moves way beyond the safely conservative ethos of the Passat with impressively generous interior space and a strong emphasis on safety. Indeed, a number of active safety systems make their Volkswagen debut on the Arteon, and it scores a deserved 5-star rating in the Euro NCAP crash test. It is, in other words, the company's new flagship. But does that mean you should consider one over more premium rivals? Volkswagen Arteon rivals following on from the 4-door Volkswagen CC coupe, known as the Passat CC before its facelift. The Arteon sees every man VW upping its premium game in an effort to challenge the likes of the BMW 4 Series Grand Coupe and its in-house rival the Audi A5 Sportback. It also competes against the Volvo S90 Saloon, Skoda Superb hatchback, while Volkswagen itself cites the Mercedes class and Jaguars as key rivals. Although they share a number of engineering details, including the underlying MQB platform architecture, the Audi and Volkswagen are not carbon copies, as the two VW Group products have different dimensions. The Audi is lower, while the Arteon is longer, wider and has a greater distance between its axles, making the cabin bigger. Less highfalutin Arteon rivals include the Vauxhall Insignia Grand Sport, and any number of conventional mid-size saloons and fastbacks. Volkswagen Arteon engines. Arteon buyers get a choice of half a dozen engines, with a spread of petrol and diesel choices. All models come with fast-shifting twin-clutch DSG automatic gearboxes as standard, bar the entry-level 150 horsepower petrol and diesels, where you have to pay extra for a self-shifting box. The range-topping models, the 280 horsepower 2.0-liter petrol and 240 horsepower 2.0-liter diesel, both feature VW's 4Motion 4-wheel drive as standard, which provides strong traction on slippery roads. Volkswagen Arteon trim levels. The Arteon is available in just 2 UK trim levels, Elegance and Reline. As their names suggest, one places an emphasis on luxury, the other offers a sportier ethos. Whichever Arteon you go for, you get plenty of kit as standard, including lots of in-car tech, safety kit and luxurious touches. These include a 8.0-inch touchscreen infotainment system with sat-nav, front and rear parking sensors, adaptive cruise control and heated leather seats. Reline models, meanwhile, gain bolder styling and bigger wheels for a sportier feel. Other equipment on the options list includes an advanced adaptive dynamic chassis control DCC system, which lets you adjust suspension and steering settings, opening panoramic glass sunroof, a head-up display and upgraded 9.2-inch sat-nav system. The verdict: this is a stylish, spacious take on the 5-door coupe market. The engines are powerful, standard equipment is generous and the Arteon is both easy and comfortable to drive. It also offers more passenger room than its immediate rivals, with a high-tech user-friendly interior. In other words, it's a supremely competent car. The question is whether you, as a buyer, value this competency over the image and also the driving dynamics offered by more recognizably premium competition. Read on for the full Volkswagen Arteon review. 6 petrol and diesel engines to choose from. DSG automatic gearbox available on all models. Range-topping models feature all-wheel drive 150 horsepower 1.5-liter petrol and 2.0-liter diesel models to powerful 2.0-liter variants with 280 horsepower and 240 horsepower respectively. The range-topping models feature 4-wheel drive as standard for harnessing their substantial power tallies along with a dual-clutch automatic gearbox in both cases. Is the 240 horsepower Arteon diesel any good? Using sequential turbocharging, one small turbo for low revs feeding into a large turbo at higher revs, the 240 horsepower diesel certainly doesn't drag its heels. With a stonking 500 Nm of torque available between 1,7502, 500 revolutions per minute, it's probably a good job VW fitted 4-wheel drive as standard. The benchmark 0.62 miles per hour sprint takes 6.5 seconds, helped by the DSG Auto, which snaps keenly through upshifts to deliver maximum standing start acceleration, and top speed is 152 miles per hour. It's not the most exciting sounding engine, even with the sport noise function engaged, but it delivers substantial forward thrust in a smooth and satisfying fashion. Is the 280 horsepower Arteon a worthy range topper? While it produces far less torque than the Arteon's most powerful diesel, the 280 horsepower TSI petrol's 350 Nm is available over a much wider rev range, 1,7005, 600 revolutions per minute. This makes it very flexible. Extra urge is available whenever you want it, but also strangely uninvolving to drive. It will just keep piling on the speed, leaving the driver with little to do. The standard DSG and 4Motion combo only exacerbates the sensation. Still, with 0.62 miles per hour taking just 5.6 seconds and a top speed of 155 miles per hour, it will keep most hot hatches, and the Arteon's premium German rivals, very much on their toes. The soundtrack is more engaging here, too, and all told we feel it's the petrol engine that suits the Arteon's continent-crushing Gran Turismo brief the best, even if its thirstier fuel consumption means you'll have to stop your continental touring more often, and pay more for the privilege as well. A little engine drone is also audible from the back seat at motorway speeds, though, surprising for a modern petrol car. It's not a problem, but we'd expect slightly less noise from under the bonnet. Arteon 2.0 TDI 150 diesel likely to be bestseller. Volkswagen predicts that the entry-level diesel will be the most popular Arteon. While not slow, the engine feels like it's got its work cut out hauling around the Arteon's hefty frame. We'd imagine that many drivers who value the Arteon's relaxed driving style would similarly value a little more power, so they don't have to work the motor as hard. Consequently, the 190 horsepower version of the same engine is likely to be a more satisfying choice. Petrol 190 horsepower 2.0-liter model pleasant to drive. The 190 horsepower petrol's extra muscle over the 150 horsepower diesel makes a big difference. The engine feels much more responsive and the car lighter. Though diesel engines normally provide greater muscle at low engine speeds, this petrol is nearly as strong, even barely above idle. That makes it a very good fit for the Arteon, though company car drivers are likely to be worse off in big tax terms with the petrol compared with the 150 horsepower diesel. The gap is likely to be much smaller compared with the 190 horsepower diesel, however. Driving modes. A driving mode selector provides a choice between eco, comfort, normal, sport and individual driving modes. Each of these behaves as you'd expect, adapting the accelerator response and the gearbox programming and steering weight to suit, as well as the suspension firmness when the optional adaptive dynamic chassis control system is specified. As usual, the DSG transmission works well under manual control, especially using the paddle shifters on the back of the steering wheel, though if you do like to drive this way you'll find the petrols more satisfying than the diesel, as with less torque these seem better able to deal with downshift demands when traveling quickly. See the safety section for info about the Arteon's high-tech adaptive cruise control system. Only tested on dynamic chassis control suspension so far, this offers a vast number of adjustment choices, fast and flat in the corners as a result. But not thrilling. The Arteon is available with several suspension setups. Choose a 4-wheel drive model and you get dynamic chassis control DCC adaptive suspension as standard, which lets you adjust the firmness of the shock absorbers depending on the type of driving you're doing. If you want this with a 2-wheel drive model, though, you'll need to pay extra for the privilege. Meanwhile, those who opt for an R-Line model can choose between 2 DCC versions, the normal version and a second sportier lowered suspension setup. We first drove the VW Arteon fitted with the DCC system, and on larger, optional wheels. You might expect this last addition to ruin the ride comfort, but the Arteon has been engineered for 20-inch wheels right from the start, so it copes with them surprisingly well, even on bumpier surfaces. The DCC plays a large role in this. However, as it's one of the most variable systems we've ever come across. Volkswagen Arteon DCC suspension system. It's not just that the DCC presents a significant difference between its softest and hardest settings, though it does indeed do this. Rather that instead of simply presenting the usual comfort, normal and sport settings, VW has added degrees of adjustment above and beyond these choices. Select the individual driving mode function and you're presented with a touchscreen slider at the top of the central display, giving you access to no fewer than 43 different intervals of suspension control. Some will argue that this is too much choice, and they're probably right, but it's certainly a novelty that enthusiastic buyers will enjoy playing with. What's the Volkswagen Arteon like to drive? The cynical might also suggest this is VW's way of distracting said buyers from what is otherwise quite a conventional driving experience. While you can select a choice of normal and sport steering weights, there is little about the way the Arteon handles that will really draw you into the process of driving it. The progressive steering system doesn't help. VW uses the same technology on the Golf GTI and Golf R, and it's designed to give you light, quick steering at low speeds for agility, and a steadier, weightier feel for stability when going faster. Trouble is, it also ends up slightly numb and inconsistent. Don't get us wrong, the Arteon is by no means a bad car to drive. In fact, it covers ground very quickly if you want it to, with limited body roll and plenty of composure. It's just not very incisive about its direction changes in the manner of, say, a BMW 4 Series, again living up to its Gran Turismo billing rather than substituting for a sports car. Modern but still user-friendly inside. Discovery Pro multimedia works well. Comfort and quality very high inside the Arteon. It's very much contemporary Volkswagen, turned up to 11. In the center of the cockpit sits the latest 8.0-inch Discovery Navigation Sat-nav infotainment system. With its responsive touchscreen and highly intuitive operation logic, it doesn't take long to get used to this at all, even if the much-touted gesture control functionality is rather limited. Better yet, VW hasn't forgotten the importance of providing physical buttons for the most important interior controls, including the air conditioning system. The optional 9.2-inch Discovery Pro system does get rid of some of the physical controls for the media system, however, making it more distracting to use while driving. Active Info Display. This is VW's name for the virtual cockpit digital dial cluster, increasingly found throughout the Volkswagen Group's various range of products. Sitting where the conventional instruments used to be is a large screen that performs all those normal driving functions, such as telling you your speed and engine revs, plus much more. A secondary map screen for the sat-nav is available here, for example, as well as access to the various active safety systems and even your music choices and sat-nav information. All of this is controlled via buttons on the steering wheel. It's an intimidating array of capability at first, but as with the main screen in the center of the car you soon get used to it. The optional head-up display brings a further source of info for the driver. Volkswagen Arteon interior quality and driving position. The Arteon's interior quality is well up to the mark of any rival in this sector, so you won't feel shortchanged in this respect. DCC suspension mostly comfortable even on large 19 and 20-inch wheels. Excellent seats, loads of space in the rear. Find smooth roads and the Arteon is very comfortable to drive with compliant suspension and little noise making itself heard. Encounter a typical stretch of scarred, pockmarked British tarmac, however, and the car struggles to smother the road surface as well as you'd hope, even with the optional dynamic chassis control in its comfort mode. It's not uncomfortable by any means, but it can feel jarring over a series of bumps in quick succession, with noise from rough roads resonating their way up through the cabin more than expected. Still, with the DCC set towards the comfort end of its considerable spectrum, on better roads bumps are unlikely to trouble you. This clever adaptive suspension system absorbs nasty surfaces with considerable ease, although we did detect the occasional resonance through the cabin over particularly bad patches of tarmac. Things are likely to be better with the 18-inch standard wheels of Elegance models, as there's an additional inch of rubber between you and the road. Volkswagen Arteon refinement is also pretty good in the Arteon. Unsurprisingly, the TSI petrol is more refined than the TDI diesel, with a touch of drone emanating from the TDI at times. In the TSI, the worst you can expect is a bit of wind noise, and this only at higher motorway speeds. Volkswagen Arteon seats, comfort and space. This is a spacious car front and rear. Legroom in the back is particularly generous. VW reckons class-leading, and 4up you won't struggle for elbow and shoulder room, either, though taller adults might not have as much headroom as they'd like. The middle rear seat is best left to children, due to the raised seat base and prominent center tunnel necessary to accommodate the four-wheel drive system. It still feels like a more spacious car in the back than the Audi A5 Sportback, however. Heated and massaging front seats are available, while partial electrical adjustment of the front seats is standard. Elegance and Reline. The only trim level standard equipment is extensive. Plenty of optional extras available. The Arteon comes in two specifications, Elegance and Reline. Both are pretty well kitted out, with just a few, mainly aesthetic, details separating the two. Standard Volkswagen Arteon Coupe equipment. Desirable kit like SatNav, Bluetooth, adaptive cruise control and heated leather seats is standard across all models, with Reline cars gaining sharper sporty styling details. Elegance models include adaptive LED self-leveling headlights, 18-inch alloy wheels, full-size spare alloy wheel, 8.0-inch touchscreen media system, Bluetooth with ability to pair two devices simultaneously, 3-zone climate control, automatic headlights and windscreen wipers, front and rear parking sensors, adaptive cruise control, active info display, digital dials, Nappa leather upholstery, heated front seats, electric driver's seats, electric folding wing mirrors. Reline adds 19-inch alloy wheels, Reline styling pack, Reline leather sports seats, black roof lining. Optional Volkswagen Arteon Coupe extras. Key optional items include the Air Care Climatronic, a fancy 3-zone climate control system, complete with air quality sensors and active biogenic filters to protect you from all sorts of airborne nasties, and the DCC adaptive suspension. Lots of active safety systems available. The most cutting edge are only optional. Though Arteon receives a 5-star NCAP score. If it's safety you want, the Arteon's got it. In addition to all the airbags, electronic stability control systems and autonomous emergency braking capability we've come to expect from the latest cars, there are stacks of even more advanced systems on offer, too. Volkswagen Arteon Coupe safety systems. The Arteon's adaptive cruise control system is the first in a VW that monitors speed limits using the speed assistant and refers to SatNav data, the bend assistant, in order to automatically adjust the set speed. This is yet another step on the path towards autonomous cars, though not everyone will appreciate its good intentions, and don't expect the speed adjustments to be infallible. In practice it works remarkably well, slowing down not just for speed limits but also junctions and other hazards. It also accelerates back up to new limits with alacrity, and steers itself very smoothly for short periods. Genuinely impressive. Second-generation autonomous emergency braking. The Arteon also features a second-generation emergency assist system. Should the driver become incapacitated for some reason, emergency assist can now not only slow the car to a stop, it can also steer the car to the side of the road, say from the outside lane of a motorway to the inside. It works by combining the adaptive cruise control, side assist blind spot monitoring system and the standard fit lane assist lane guidance system, but only works when traffic approaching from behind makes it safe to do so. Again, this appears to work remarkably well in as far as we've been able to safely test it. Active headlights available. Next innovation is an updated dynamic light assist system. This improves upon conventional cornering lights which illuminate bends as you turn the steering wheel by integrating this ability with a forward-facing camera and the SatNav route data. This means it can illuminate corners before you've turned the steering wheel. We're yet to be able to test this, but it sounds helpful anyway. The pre-crash system, which prepares the car in cases of unavoidable impact, now reacts not only to dangers detected by extreme handling changes and objects in front but also dangers from the rear. Meanwhile, traffic jam assist will take care of driving in congestion up to 37 miles per hour, using a combination of sensors, but as with most of the above, only in situations where it is able to detect the lane markings successfully. The Arteon also features an active bonnet to help reduce injury to pedestrians should the worst happen. How many ISOFIX car seats can I fit in a Volkswagen Arteon coupe? There are 2 ISOFIX mountings in the Arteon, one on each of the outer rear seats. Volkswagen Arteon Euro NCAP rating. Euro NCAP has given the Arteon a 5-star score, reflecting the raft of safety equipment available, both optional and as standard. With its extensive range of available active safety systems, and the fact that it's based on the Passat, this score wasn't unexpected, but very welcome in 2017's tougher Euro NCAP tests. The Arteon's large footprint means there is plenty of room for passengers front and rear, though anyone in the middle rear is forced to straddle the transmission tunnel in 4-wheel drive models, making that seat best suited to smaller children. The Arteon may look slinky in the pictures, but in reality this is a large car, lower but wider and longer than the VW Passat. Still, that length is comfortably under 5 meters, so it isn't so massive that car parks become unmanageably awkward. But you probably will want to check the dimensions of your garage before purchase, proving that you don't have to sacrifice practicality when you opt for a slinkier, sportier car. The Arteon's enormous boot is accessed via a large tailgate, giving it an immediate edge over its 4-door CC predecessor.